Coming from a small town in Serbia, I always felt that I'm maybe destined for bigger things. And I always wanted to appreciate a little bit of an adventure. And, so even though the construction was supposed to take 2 years, we're actually going to deliver this year in October, which is 6-7 months early ahead of schedule.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That means the investor can rent it out faster than planning.
For example, in our project Garby 2 in JVC, the 2-bedroom apartments are starting from 1,600 square feet plus.
That's crazy.
That's
very huge.
That's
Welcome to our podcast channel, Real Estate Brothers. I'm Edo.
Daniel.
And I'm George.
Today we have George from Rabdan Developments.
Yes.
George, please introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you so much for having me on, guys. So my name is George. I work for Rabdan Developments as a relationship manager, which basically means that I work with brokers who work with their clients, and I maintain that relationship. Mm-hmm. So my job is basically to help the brokers make the sales when it comes to Rabdan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you're like 9 years in Dubai, or almost 10 years in Dubai. Why you moved for 10 years to Dubai? What was the reason?
Well, there was a very good reason. And that reason was that here in Dubai, it's a land of opportunities. The jobs are plentiful. The opportunities are amazing. And I just found that if you work in a country that's growing and changing and exciting as UAE, that this is the right environment for me. Coming from a small town in Serbia, I always felt that I'm maybe destined for bigger things. And I always wanted to appreciate a little bit of an adventure. And, moving halfway across the world is maybe that adventure I wanted.
100%. How was your start in Dubai? What you're doing when you come to Dubai? I mean, everything is new, the infrastructure, the rules. How you start?
Yeah, so when I first moved here, everything was new for me. This was actually the first country where I lived abroad. So it was, it did take me some time to get used to that. You can walk down the street and you can hear 15 different languages in the space of, 2 seconds and 10 minutes or something, So my first start here in Dubai came as a manager in an electronics shop. So I was basically working in an electronics shop. We were selling mobile phones, PlayStation games, camera equipment, tablets, mobile phone accessories and stuff like that. And my job was basically to maintain the sales staff, train them, and also to work with our wholesale suppliers to get the inventory for the shop. So this was something that I really enjoyed. This was my first job here in Dubai.
Well, and how you get the job? You're going to LinkedIn, and I think for 10 years LinkedIn exists. Yeah, I don't know.
It did exist, but luckily I had my older brother who was here in Dubai already. And at that time, the girlfriend he was dating had a vacancy in her company. So it was her family business. So they wanted someone that can take some responsibility in the company. And that's when he recommended me, because I've always had like a good knowledge of English. And I guess here in Dubai, if you have good English skills, it helps with sales.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing. And how it's coming to the working in real estate? So right now it's your first time in Rabdan, or what you was doing before?
So yeah. So basically, again, like my whole life, I've been in sales, and I always consider that even if you're not in sales, you are selling. We're all selling something. So I've moved from the first job I had in an electronics store. Then I moved to corporate sales where I was selling gift items. And from that experience, I moved to Bayut, the property portal, where I worked as a client account executive.
In Bayut?
In Bayut, okay, yeah. So that was my first taste of real estate, you can say. And
can you explain what is Bayut exactly? Because not everybody knows.
Of course. So basically, Bayut is the online property portal. It's the largest property portal here in UAE. It's the place where clients can go and look up properties they want to buy, even if it's off plan or ready, or even if they want to rent a property, they can find all of that here. It's basically a database for all the properties in Dubai
Yeah, it's
and
also,
UAE. Yeah.
It's also good because lots of clients from my side, they say, okay, then I want to see the rental maybe, yeah. And then you can see, okay, if I have a property, an example, also like from your products that will be ready, for how much can I renting it out and to know, okay, my return on invest. It's also, I think, very, very interesting to understand.
It's quite useful for that as well, because at the end of the day, you're not just saying numbers out of your head. Like you have the market data to show to clients and prove what you're saying.
And from Bayut, you're jumping into the real estate market?
Yes, from Bayut, I've jumped into the real estate market. I became a broker, and I've worked for maybe around 6 years as a broker.
Wow.
So in that time, I worked with leasing of properties, resales of properties. I worked with commercial, residential, off-plan sales, secondary market sales. So I did like a full range of real estate. And when I first started out, I was a specialist for Emirates Living. Quite a nice community, my favorite in Dubai. So yeah.
Wow. And from that, you jump to Rabdan Developments. Can you short explain what is Rabdan Developments exactly? Which history they have?
Yes, of course. So basically, after my broker experience, I joined the company Rabdan Developments. Also, I had a lot of options to choose from because I had a lot of experience here in Dubai. But I basically wanted to work in a company that has a good history, a good future potential. And I want to work in a company that I personally like the projects that they're building.
Yeah.
Because I always felt if I like a product, then it's going to be easier for me to sell it. And when I went to Rabdan, I immediately loved the company. So when it comes to Rabdan Developments, it's a local Emirati-owned developer. It's called Rabdan, which is basically the name of Sheikh Zayed's favorite horse. So in the Emirati culture, you know, there's two animals, let's say, that are most important. It's the falcon, and the other one is the horse. They're crazy about their horses here. And so Sheikh Zayed had his favorite horse breed called Rabdan, and this is the name that is very popular in the Emirati culture. So, for example, you have a whole neighborhood in Abu Dhabi that's called Rabdan. And even today, you have the first UAE car that they're producing. It's called Rabdan as well.
Oh, crazy.
So it's a really nice name, yeah.
And how long Rabdan stay right now in the market?
So Rabdan has been in the market since they opened, let's say, end of 2023 with 4 new projects, with 4 projects in that time. The first project was beginning of last year, and then we had 3 more. But because the owners are Emirati, this is not their first company. So as you can imagine, yeah, so the owners have a lot of different businesses. They have a lot of different companies. And one of the main companies they have is the contracting company. So for almost 20 years, they've been working as contractors for other developers, and they've been working as contractors for residential projects, commercial projects. They worked on schools, hospitals, mosques, and luxury villas. So they bring that experience, and they decide to, you know, let's set up a company of our own. Let's design our projects and then let's sell them. So this is what the idea was.
So we have a big safety if you say like we have the government like in our back.
We never have problems with escrow accounts. We don't launch projects without escrow accounts. We have projects that we launch, and when it's launched, the escrow account is there. The client can make a payment, and they know that their money is safe and it's fully protected.
Who are your typical buyers? Is it more investors, more end users?
So right now, I would say that we have a lot of investors. It's a good split between end users and investors, but it's mostly people who buy off-plan are the people who are investing, because, you know, with end users, they prefer to buy something that's going to be ready immediately or ready next year. With our projects, typically the construction time is like 2 years, let's say. So we're getting a lot of investors. But one of the things that I personally noticed is that people like the project so much. So once they start deciding what they want to buy, they are already imagining that they might move into that project one day. So they always try to find a unit that they personally like. And this is something that I think speaks volumes to the kind of product and the projects we do and have.
And what are the last projects, let's say, that will be handed over? Because you say it's 2023 was going on the construction. So
sorry to cut you off. But basically in 2023, the company was set up. The first project that they launched and started building was in May of 2024.
Oh, okay.
And that project was originally supposed to be completed in May of 2026. And this is called NAS 3. It's located in Arjan. However, because we're the contractor, because we have the manpower, the construction equipment, the construction materials, we control the entire cycle. So even though the construction was supposed to take 2 years, we're actually going to deliver this year in October, which is 6-7 months early ahead of schedule.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That means the investor can rent it out faster than planning.
Of course. And this also shows that we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about when it comes to that construction. Because for a lot of the people, when they don't know the name Rabdan and when they think that we're just a new company that showed up yesterday, we didn't do anything. There is a bit more to that. There's quite a bit of history in the background.
Yeah, that's the reason you're here today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the typical locations from Rabdan, you say Arjan. Which one also? Because we have, you say, NAS 3. What kind another of projects are coming or also maybe delivered in October or the next years?
So basically, because as I said, we're new as developers, we wanted to grow naturally. And the idea was that we will start off with these areas which are developing areas, investor-friendly areas. So we have 2 projects in Arjan, and then the third project is in JVC. So we started off with NAS 3 in Arjan. Across the street, we have Garbi 1. And in JVC, we did Garbi 2. So these are the developing areas. These are the areas where it's easy to build something fast. This is basically the proving grounds for any new developer. And this is an area where you can focus on smaller ticket items. Because for us right now, we're doing affordable luxury. But the idea is that we will always, overachieve people's expectations and deliver on the quality. So pretty soon, we'll be doing more and more popular projects in more and more central locations. So the latest project that we have is in Majan, next to Al Barari. So it's going to be a lovely green community. And then obviously after that, we'll be doing more central locations like Majan, Business Bay, City Walk, Jumeirah Garden City, and stuff like that.
Amazing.
What are the unique selling points from the apartments, from the projects? Because I love Rabdan very much because they have big spaces in the apartments. It is the one of which are more selling points you have?
Well, first of all, as you said, like one of my favorite points is that we actually do a proper sizes. We don't build apartments 400 square feet big and call it a 1 bed, because that's a studio size for us.
Yeah.
We even have studios that are larger than that. So for example, most of our apartments are in the 800 square feet range. We do have some smaller layouts depending on what the client prefers, but it's so well designed that once you enter the apartment, you will see that you have plenty of space for everything. And where we really show this is in our 2-bedroom apartments, because, for example, in our project Garbi 2 in JVC, the 2-bedroom apartments are starting from 1,600 square feet plus.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's
very huge.
That's really big, and that's here in Dubai we call it a 2-bedroom, but in Europe it would probably be a 3-bedroom because you're getting a maid's room as well. So technically, it is like a 3-bed. Basically, what we're known for right now is for our previous 3 projects that had like pools on the balcony. But this is not something that we want to specialize in. This is just an idea that we wanted to use because the areas where we were building those projects are investor friendly. And if you have a pool on the balcony, it's going to be good for short-term rentals. It's going to be easy to attract people who can rent something and, you know, have a pool on the balcony.
And what is the expression of return on invest? So let's say we have spoken about Arjan, because lots of investors who are looking right now don't know Arjan. Maybe you can explain the location, what is so unique there.
Yeah.
Of course, I was also some investors who was by me. They was taken because of the Miracle Garden and the coming metro. But from your side, they're coming so much people. Why are they using Majan?
The location, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Arjan is, in my opinion, a very good location because you're close to a few main highways. You're right in between the Al Hail Street and the 311 highway. And also you're in between the two main roads that are connecting those highways, which is the Hassa Street and Sukim Street. So right now here in Dubai, we're under process of expanding the Hassa Street, the Sukim Street, and the Al Hail Road, which means there will be a capital appreciation in the next 1 year. Once the projects are fully completed, the traffic will double, like the capacity of the traffic will be double, which basically means that you have a location that has plenty of room to grow, and at the same time it's easily connected to rest of the rest of Dubai. From Arjan, you're perhaps 15 minutes away from Marina. You're maybe 20 minutes away from downtown Business Bay. And at the same time, Arjan is located in that position so that even in the long-term future, once Dubai starts moving south, because you guys know that the new airport is going to come up. Yeah. So,
Al Maktoum, yeah?
Yes. So this is like a long-term plan for Dubai, but this basically means that in 15 years, once everything has shifted to that airport, you will still be 20, 30 minutes away from the airport. So it's a central location for the Dubai. And in my opinion, Arjan is super popular because even before it was starting to get fully developed, like ages ago, they were projecting Arjan as a family-friendly community. So the community has within, let's say, 2 to 5 minute car drive in the community, you have maybe 10 to 15 schools, colleges, universities, there's hospitals, there's mini community centers. So it's a self-contained city in itself. And for people who just want to, you know, live close to school, or like let's say you have kids who are going to a school there, or maybe you work in that school, this is a perfect area in my opinion.
It's a big opportunity for everybody, for the end user, for the investors, for short time, long time. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the price per square feet, I think it's mostly like very interesting for investors. How it is right now, and maybe like you can tell a few years ago, and how will be the increasing, because from that we can see, okay, how much I can renting out, and if I selling it, how much percentage I can get.
So basically, like for us, we have one of the most competitive price per square foot in all our projects, because we're a company that handles the entire construction cycle, because we have our own plots. This allows us to offer a competitive price. So right now we have a price of around 1,100 dirhams per square foot for our new project in Majan. And this is something that's really competitive.
It's really cheap, to be honest.
It is, but at the same time, you are getting a product where, because you're investing early, because you're buying during construction, you can capitalize on that later on.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure about like the historical, you know, I don't want to give you a number and then later it's not something that it's correct, because I would like to do my research. When I have a client, I always sit down with them. We always have a look what was happening before. We compare the rental market. We compare where the future trends are going. And I'm sure you know that, for example, in the last couple of years in Dubai, there has been so much increase in property value, and even rental prices have been increasing. So this is the market trend that we can continue to expect. Obviously, more and more projects are going to be delivered, so we might see some stabilization of the prices. But yeah.
That's a good bridge, because when you are interested in a Zoom call, or when you want to that we make a calculation with you, or we pitch you some properties, some apartments,
Yeah, well, honestly, like if you guys are interested in any of the Rabdan products or you would like to know more about it, we can always do a quick Zoom call. We can do our analysis. We can compare the units that you like according to your budget, and we can project future income, or we can see how that apartment or price compares to the rest of the Dubai market, basically.
Use the opportunity and write us a DM for a quick Zoom call.
Yeah.
And also, it's very interesting to know if I'm living there. Lots of end users asking me, okay, also from my side, if I stay there, okay, I have a big layout, I have very big bedroom. What are the amenities? So what I got for what I invest?
Yeah, so that's the thing with new project, not just with us, I guess with generally across Dubai, developers are trying to add more and more amenities. They're trying to cram as many amenities as they can in a building. But what separates us from the rest is that we're trying to build amenities that have a purpose and amenities that add value to the property. So, for example, in Garbi 2 in JVC, we have, as one of the amenities, we have a podcast studio.
Really?
Amazing.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
I
So,
love it.
so it's definitely something that it adds value because you'll be able to book your podcast studio. You'll have a time you can record and everything. And I say even to the clients who may not be doing podcasts or have never done podcasts, because okay, this is my first podcast today.
But you do it well.
Yeah, thank you. So I tell them, like, listen, if you're meeting your lawyer, you can have a private room where you can record that conversation for future use. If you're meeting a business partner, again, you can have a private room where you can record your conversation. So it doesn't have to be a podcast per se, but it can be used for different things.
This is a big value, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love it.
And other than that, the other amenities we have is like we try to give a top of the state-of-the-art gym in all our projects, because we don't want to have just a room with some weights and call it a gym. For us, in our latest project, Rabdan Gates, we're actually calling it a health studio, because there's going to be different sections in the gym. There's going to be a section for yoga and aerobics. So there's going to be a lot of good features. When it comes to the equipment, we use techno gym equipment. So
One of the best of the
one
world.
of the best, yes. And again, we also have steam rooms, saunas, and all of that stuff. And the main thing that I've never seen other people do or other projects have is the valet parking. Like for our first 3 projects that we did, NAS3, Garbi 1, and Garbi 2, we have valet parking as an amenity.
Wow.
So you can just drive to the entrance of the building. Let's say you're renting your apartment as an investment for short term. Your person renting the apartment can just say the apartment number and throw the keys to the guy, and he'll go and park it for you.
It's like a 5-star hotel.
Yes, but in my opinion, it's even better because you're not paying 5-star hotel service charges.
Yeah. That's a good bridge to the service charges. How much service charges you have?
So usually, like with developers, the service charges get finalized at the handover.
Yeah.
Because it basically depends on the master community guidelines and everything. But we have an expected range. So, for example, in Arjan, we're expecting 14 to 16 dirhams per square
Very
foot.
good.
In JVC, we're expecting 16 to 18. And I'm guessing in Majan, it's going to be 14 to 16 as well. When I speak with the service charges, I always tell the people the higher number because it's better to be safe than sorry. And, for example, for JVC, that comes to about 11 to 12,000 dirhams or maybe 3,000 euros per year for a 1-bedroom apartment.
That is good.
Yeah.
You have a lot of apartments. When I'm an investor and I have, for example, 200K or 300K, 400K dollars, what can I get?
So $300K, okay, 400K. So for 400K, you could basically get a 2-bedroom with us. For 300, you can get a large 1-bedroom, one of the larger layouts. And for 200K, you would probably be looking at a studio.
It's good, really good.
Yeah.
It's a good budget to invest. There's a lot of different payment plans in Dubai. Some have 60-40, 40-60. Which payment plan you can get?
So basically, when it comes to payment plans, we have two standard payment plans. So one of them is 60% during construction, 40% on handover. And the second one is 70% during construction, 30 post-handover.
Can you explain what is a post-handover?
So how that basically works is that you would pay 70% during construction. Once you receive your keys, once you can move in, or once you can rent out your apartment and start collecting the income, that is when you start paying off the other 30%.
Amazing.
And that 30% gets split into monthly installments of 1% per month. So for
1%, that's nothing.
1% per month. So for 2.5 years, you can have someone living in your apartment, paying you rent, and basically covering your installments.
That's
Amazing.
crazy.
And also from lots of my investors are the same question by the payments. What is if I cannot pay my payments? Let's say I make the down payment after a few months, I have problems with my financials. So what is then? What are you becoming?
So
my money is away, or how does it work?
So basically, with us, you would have 1%, let's say, interest rate or like a penalty on your due installment. So with most of our payment plans, you will have monthly 1% installments, right? So which means that if you miss one installment, 30 days after it was due, we calculate 1% penalty. So if you're buying a one-bedroom apartment, let's say for around 1 million dirhams, and your 1% monthly installment is 10,000 dirhams, and you're more than 30 days late, well, that's going to cost you 100 dirhams or 25 euros.
Oh, that's really good, to be honest. It's not a big issue.
Yeah.
But the most investors, they have the money, of course, and they pay.
And see, at the end of the day, like no one can expect what kind of situations they're going to find themselves in. I always try to tell the people who are coming to buy apartments that if they don't feel comfortable stretching their budget, or if they feel that they might have issues later on, don't buy it. Like
wait a little bit,
wait
save more
a little
money.
bit, save more money, or buy a smaller apartment. Because at the end of the day, the best investment is the one that you can pay off fully without having to worry next month when the installment is due and everything.
And how much I need to pay for resale? Because lots of investors thinking, okay, I don't want to wait to hand over like 2 years or 3 years. How much I need to pay here for resale my apartment?
So with us, it's 30%. So as long as you pay off the 30%, you can resell your apartment, which basically means that with our standard payment plans, you're paying 20% down payment. 6 months later, you will complete the other 10%. So basically, within 6 months of your purchase, you will be eligible to resell that apartment.
Nice. So like me, for an investor, it's like a safety. Let's say after I pay 30%, then I can resell it without problems, because lots of developers say 40%. Some of them say you need to still wait to hand over. From your side, it's also nice also for your investor. If you say, okay, I want to flip my apartments by Rabdan, you can pay 30%, and then we will sell your units with a good price.
And at the same time, what I think it's important to mention that when you sell your apartment to someone else, they get to keep the same payment plan as that you got.
Ah, nice.
With different developers, that may not be always the case. You might have to change the payment plan if the new buyer is, buying the property. But with us, you pay off the 30%, and then the new buyer keeps the same payment plan.
And the payment, how does it work? Can I come also pay by cash, by crypto, or how does it work, the transaction?
So basically, we have a limit on how much you can pay with cash. It's technically regulated by the Dubai government, and here we do everything by the book. So there will be a limit on how much cash we can pay with. And when it comes to crypto, we are actually in the process of setting our crypto wallet and having a mediator for the crypto transactions. So this is something that we can organize, and this is something that I'm sure you already have people that work with that, right?
Yeah, of course. Right now are lots of people from Germany or also from Europe. They're working with crypto. Also here in Dubai, we have lots of people with crypto. They was buying like lots of things, and they coming and see, okay, but some developers I can buy apartments of crypto. It's amazing. So I think that will be also like the future with the real estate market.
Yeah, that's true. And I think one of the good things about crypto is that it's basically instantaneous. It takes less time than a bank transfer, less time than an international bank transfer for sure,
Less fees.
less paperwork.
Yeah. There's a lot of international investors, and how you can make the process smooth for selling, because we live in a digital world. Today we can buy an apartment on WhatsApp.
Yeah, of course.
How is the sales process?
So with us, the sales process is very, very simple.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part of the sales process for any investor is to choose the unit they want, what they like. After they've chosen the unit, it's basically just a matter of exchanging documents. So from the client, the only thing that we need is the passport copy, mobile phone number, email address, home address, and the KYC form. That's it.
Finish. And they can make the booking on WhatsApp as a link, or how?
So what we can do is we can do a bank transfer. They can just share with us proof of transfer. They can send you the screenshot of the transaction they've done. You send that to me and we book the apartment immediately. Another option is for us to create a payment link. So for example, for clients who want to pay with a credit card, we can send a payment link to their email. So it's going to be like shopping on Amazon. Just type in
So
your
easy.
address and all of this. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, like me, an investor, how long I need to wait to buy an apartment? Let's say, okay, I like this 1 bedroom. How much time I need to say yes?
I mean, you really don't have to wait a lot. If you like the apartment, if you want to go ahead, things here happen very fast.
Yeah.
So as soon as we have the passport copy of the client and we know who the buyer is, the client can immediately transfer the funds with the bank account. Let's say if they're transferring from Europe, they can transfer the booking fee, which is 50,000 dirhams. After they sent us a screenshot, done. The deal is booked. And then the next steps are that we prepare the paperwork, which sometimes can take a day or two, depending if it's the weekend or not. But the main point is, as soon as we receive proof of payment, the unit is booked for the client and they're the ones that have it. So they don't have to think that perhaps if they delay too long or if that someone else might sell the apartment to someone else. So they have that flexibility, you know. Like we inform the clients, like if this is the last unit of this type and there's other people interested, well, maybe you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, one of our investors, they choose an apartment from RUC and he say, I want this studio, but I pay in 2 days. And we say, okay, no problem, but we cannot freeze the apartment for you.
Yeah.
What happens? After 2 days, he want to buy, sold out.
Yeah, in the same night.
He was so
It was
upset.
in the same night. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got this experience. It
Yeah.
was amazing.
It
In
was
the
so
same
crazy.
night, because it's very international
Yeah.
people that we have here.
Yeah.
I've had the same situation just a couple of weeks ago with my colleague. Both of us had clients for the same apartment, but none of us knew that I have a client and that he has a client. And usually how we have this internal system set up in Rabdan is that once a booking has been made and the proof of payment has been collected, we announce in a group on WhatsApp, this unit has been booked.
Yeah.
So that means I can see and I can stop offering it to my clients, right? But what happened was both him and me received the payment proof at the same time.
Crazy.
And he sent the payment proof to the manager and I got a message that unit was booked. And as I was forwarding this to the client sent us the payment proof. So we had like a double booking in essence. But in the end, the client didn't really lose out. We got them a better unit, a larger layout with a nicer view. And I think he was actually even more happier with that second unit.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, you work before as a broker. Daniel is a broker. And all the investors can go direct to you, to the developer. Why is better to choose a broker for a good apartment?
Yeah, see, honestly, like I always had this opinion because again, I worked for 6 years as a
Yeah.
broker. And I always found that if you go directly to the developer, you may not be able to get all the information because at the end of the day, we as a developer, we are selling only our product. But if you go with the broker, they are the ones that can offer you different products. They are the ones that can negotiate on your behalf, and they're the ones that can spend time with you, sometimes even months, to find the best option for you, to see what works best for your budget and what works best for you. So I think that if you're going with a broker, they do all that work for you. When you go to the developer, for me, if I have a direct client, I will just sell them what I have. And I will try to get them the best unit, the best deal, and everything. But at the end of the day, maybe that was not the best product for them. And this is where a broker comes in. A broker can evaluate the situation and help the client make a better informed decision.
Yeah, that's really important to know because sometimes some investors say, why are you going to a broker? Are you going to the developer? But I think the sales start after you buying the property because he have a good network, we have a good network, and that's very important to know.
And also I will say that it doesn't mean that like just because you're going to the developer directly that you will get a better deal or any discounts or anything like that. At the end of the day, we have our relationship with the brokers. And if a client comes in, that is just a client that will buy one apartment and maybe the next apartment he buys it's in 7 years.
Yeah.
But the relationships we have with the brokers is the guys who are bringing us buyers all the time. And sometimes we have that good relationship with the broker. They have more information and they are able to negotiate a better deal.
When somebody never invests in the UAE market, which advice, which information you must give him before he invests here?
Well, that's a very good question. I would say that if you're a first-time buyer and a first-time investor here in Dubai, I would say to do your research really well and probably take your time deciding. Don't rush things. Take your time deciding. And also, I would say try to see what your budget will be because it's very important to know how much you can spend before you can buy the right property, because this will be the main factor that will guide your decision where you buy and what you buy. And again, I always thought that in order to choose the right property, the first step you need to do is to choose the right broker.
Yeah.
So I think that would be another advice.
What is your expectation the next years for the real estate market in Dubai? Because there are some people that say Dubai is just a bubble. The crash is coming in the next years. I don't believe it because, I see it every year. The rent is increased. Every year more people come to Dubai. Dubai have a vision 2040. What is your opinion?
I mean, like the days of Dubai being a bubble is not something that is even an objection anymore. Like this is... we had a situation in 2008, 2009 when we had the property crash bubble across the world, not just in Dubai. Dubai was affected by it. But the difference is that Dubai learned a lot from it. They changed their laws, they changed their regulations. So right now they're more protected than ever for this ever happening. And another thing is, in order for the bubble to burst, let's say you would have to have a dramatic event, a dramatic shift in a global situation, perhaps an event that we had in 2020. And even after the experience we had in 2020, well, we're still here. And actually what happened in 2021, the market started growing and growing even more because initially people in 2020, they were scared, they were panicking, they were trying to pull their money out to Dubai. But then there was so much more demand that they couldn't, stop the growth. And this is what I want to say. The main factor for any rise in prices is the demand. And here we have very strong demand and we have population increase.
Yeah.
So I don't know, will the bubble crash if tomorrow 3 million people leave Dubai in one day? Yeah, probably. But what is the chance of 3 million people leaving Dubai? in one day. And if we didn't have this in 2020, well, what else can happen?
I swear, when this has happened, I put all my money, what I have, in the real estate market, because a crash is the best opportunity to make a lot of
Yes,
money.
of
It's
course.
my opinion.
Of course. And, at the end of the day, I always tell to people that if you're investing into a property, you're investing into a long-term investment. You have to make sure that whatever happens, you're comfortable keeping the property for 5 to 8 years. And even if you buy today and tomorrow there's another pandemic, let's say, well, in 3 to 4 to 5 to 8 years, we're going to go through the entire real estate cycle and the prices will go up again. And it's only people who lose money are the ones that are forced to sell because of the, let's say, change of circumstances.
Do you think in the next years, or actually not right now, Dubai is a hotspot for all investors? I mean, there's real estate markets, there are different opportunities. I think my opinion is in the next years, more and more and more and more investors coming to Dubai and invest here, because here in Dubai we have 15,000 millionaires. It's crazy, and it's a hotspot for everybody. Everybody in the world want to come to Dubai. That's my opinion. Do you think the same?
I completely agree with you. I think Dubai is really attractive for people for a number of things, and this is because it's basically a tax haven. It's a safe place. It's a place that is central. It's well developed. The infrastructure is perfect. The ease of doing business and setting up businesses is really good. So this is all the factors that appeal to high-end, high net worth individuals and people who have money to spend. When we're coming from Europe, there is a lot of bureaucracy happening, and sometimes that can slow things down. Here in Dubai, that is not the case at all. UAE has always been a country that has been improving things year after year, year after year. And just some of the changes that we're seeing happening now with the introduction of Ras Al Khaimah,
Yeah, there are a lot of different Emirates.
Yeah.
Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Queen. That's
Abu Dhabi also.
all.
New developing markets.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity to everybody, to be honest, because now nobody know Queen, nobody know Ras Al Khaimah, but Ras Al Khaimah, they are building a new casino in the next years. A lot of people want to come to Ras Al Khaimah, and when you have the right broker, the right opportunities, you can make a lot of money.
Yes, of course. And then again, in this region, there's not any place where you have casinos. And I think it's a really good option for people who recognize the potential, because we can see what happened in Las Vegas. It was a desert.
Yeah.
Boom. And this is how it's going to be.
I mean, you are 10 years in Dubai. You see the process in Dubai. What do you do to calm down from your work, from your stress? What do you do in your free time here in Dubai?
So basically, I like to switch off. In my business, you're talking to people all day. You're in sales, and sometimes for me to switch off means basically just to be alone with myself.
Yeah.
Even if that means going to the beach or staying home and playing a video game.
Nice.
Because during one day you might meet 50 different people or have 10 different meetings, 5 different meetings. And I'm sure you guys are doing a lot of podcasts today. So that's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So when the weekend comes around, I just like to be left just to be on my own.
Do you have advice for all the people they're not in Dubai? Maybe they want to move to Dubai. They want to invest in Dubai. Do you have some important advice from yourself?
Yeah, actually, I would tell the people to not consider it only as a temporary move, to think deeply about it, about what they can get from the city and about the opportunities that they can find here. I think that most people who move to Dubai, they have an idea of staying here for 1 or 2 years. Yeah. And every person that I spoke to that has been here for 5, 10 or 15 years or more had the same mindset. Oh, I'll just come to Dubai for a couple of years and that's it. So I would just advise people to maybe consider it from the start more of a long-term move, maybe getting their affairs back home in order before they come here.
Perfect. When you want to have a Zoom meeting with us and to know more about Dubai, about the real estate market, or about Rabdan Developments, please write us a DM and we schedule a meeting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always welcome to work with you guys. And again, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Ado. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
pleasure. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Please subscribe our channel, give us a like. When you have some question, write it in the comment section. And lovely greets from the Real Estate Brothers.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.